So the other day I did the impossible task of going 82-0, and that took a lot of work. But this video is going to take just as much work. We're going to score a lot of goals with one player. How many goals in particular? 100 goals in one season. We're going to try to find a player that not only can score a goal per game, but over that, he's got to get 100 goals in a season. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, I've gone through the settings and I've changed a lot of them. Scoring's increased to as high as it can go. Draft class quality, that's as high as it can go. We are going to try to build the greatest top 2 lines of all time, because basically that's all it's going to take. We need an abysmal bottom 6 that plays 0 minutes per game, but we need an incredible top 6 and an incredible 2 defensive pairings that are going to be on the ice at all times, and they're going to be recording all the points. And through doing this, we're going to have one player that stands alone, and he's going to be scoring all the goals, going for 100 goals in one season. So with that being said, let's simulate this season. Ideally finish as one of the worst teams in the entire league, get the first overall pick, and get a franchise potential player. So we've gone ahead and finished as one of the worst teams in the entire league. I think we won less than 25 games this season. You know what? That doesn't matter. We just need to get the first overall pick here and get a franchise potential player. The playoffs are wrapping up here. The Marlies and Maple Leafs won. Okay, that makes no sense. You know what? This is incredibly unrealistic, but it doesn't matter. Give us the first overall pick. We dropped to 3. The Devils are jumping to number 1 and Chicago's jumping to number 2. It's absolutely rigged. The only way I'm going to get over this draft being rigged is if you subscribe to the channel. Are you a part of the 69% of people that aren't subbed yet? Well, you should change that right now, because we're trying to hit 70k by the end of the month. No, but in all seriousness, that is absolutely disrespectful. The fact that we dropped to the 3rd overall pick, yeah, we're not going to be drafting a superstar here. Now, just because we can't get these 2 guys right here doesn't mean that they're not going to be coming to the team, because we can just draft Berkeley Catton and then immediately trade him for either the 1st overall pick or the 2nd overall pick. So we're going to go simulate the first couple picks here. We're going to see what happens. It's an 82 and another 82. What are their shooting numbers looking like? Because a power forward wouldn't be bad to bring to the team. All 92s here, 92s and a 91 when it comes to accuracy. Okay, we might try to go for the 1st overall pick. However, your shooting stats actually aren't the most important thing when it comes to this rebuild. It's going to be your pass shoot bias. We need somebody that only shoots the puck. So if this guy's pass shoot bias is like 4 out of 15, that's not good enough. We need either 1 out of 15 or 2 out of 15. We need somebody that is only willing to shoot the puck. So we have to make sure that we set this team up for success in the future. So I'm going to trade our 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round pick over to the Vancouver Canucks for their 1st and 2nd. They're going to be saying no to this. Are we really surprised? Not really. But you know what? I would like to get some more assets in this deal. So maybe I can get a 4th and 5th rounder. I'm going to offer this package over to them. They're saying no. I'll take the 5th rounder out. Can we at least get a 1st and a 4th? Yes, we can. So I gave you scraps for your 1st round pick for next season. I think that's a fair deal. So we're going to jump into the re-sign phase and do absolutely nothing here other than give Jonathan Toews a deal. What does he want? 5.7 million. I can definitely do that for one season. That's a great deal. You're an 87 overall. The only reason I'm bringing you back to this team is so I can trade you away, because you'll have a bit of trade value. We can get some assets. And Phil the Thrill Kessel, here's 3.1 for next season. I don't think they're going to accept these deals because of how bad we were. Yeah, Jonathan Toews is going to be saying no, but Phil Kessel's saying yes here. So Toews, what are you going to be looking for? We could probably do 6 million for next season. I'll retain half of that salary and we'll trade you away. Probably can get a 2nd and 3rd rounder for you. When it comes to the rest of the guys, they can all go into free agency, but the 2 rookies, of course, I will sign them. Okay, so I had a very logical plan heading into this video. So what I was going to do was I was just going to check in on the rookies that get drafted, and I was going to look at what their pass shoot bias is. So I go into edit player, and then I'll just look at their attributes. I won't touch anything here. And then I found something out. We actually can't look at their attributes. So yeah, I can't tell what this guy's pass shoot bias is. We're just going to have to learn on the fly. We're going to either bring a sniper or a power forward to the team that's going to break the record, and then every other player we bring in has to have like a 70 shooting attribute. If they can't shoot whatsoever and they can pass the puck, then we're going to assume that their pass shoot bias is heavily favored to pass. Is this very bad logic? Absolutely. But we really don't have another choice. So with that 1st round pick we got from the Vancouver Canucks, I'm going to package that up with Jonathan Toews at 50% retained, and we're going to try to get Outlaw from the New Jersey Devils. Now, he was just drafted number 1 overall, but he could be elite for us. Look at those shooting attributes. He'll be able to pick up some goals here. So a 1st and Jonathan Toews, hopefully that's going to be enough here. They're going to be saying no. I don't necessarily want to give up a bunch of picks, but if we have to, I will. So here's Vancouver's 4th rounder as well. I highly doubt that's going to make the difference here. Of course, they're saying no to that. I'll give you a 3rd rounder as well, and then hopefully this is going to be enough. I don't want to give up more than this, but of course I'm willing to do so. So here's 2 third-round picks and a 4th rounder for Outlaw. They're going to be saying no to that. I think we're going to have to include a 2nd-round pick in this deal. So I've included a 2nd along with a 4th rounder. I'm going to send that over. They're going to be saying no. More than likely, I think we're actually going to have to do a 3-team trade here. But you know what? I'm going to try this, and this is going to be the final package we offer over to the Devils. We're doing a 3-team trade. So what we're going to do instead is try to trade for Buchnevich. So 1st and 2nd round is going to be sent over to the Blues. They're saying no to that. I'll give you a 4th rounder as well, and I'll actually give you Phil Kessel. Maybe Phil Kessel can be the difference in this deal. They're going to say no to that. And I'll give you a 4th rounder from Vancouver, but this is the most I'm willing to do. So hopefully a deal like this is going to be enough in order for us to pick up Buchnevich. They're going to say no to that. I guess we're moving on from him. We got to pick up somebody else instead. So maybe we can do a deal like this, a 1st, 2nd, and 4th rounder over to the Senators, Claude Giroux and Ridley Gregg. Is this going to be enough? They're saying no, but I think we're a lot closer than we think. So I'll include a 3rd rounder in this deal as well. We're going to package that up, send it over to Ottawa. We're getting this deal done. Now to circle back to New Jersey. Alright, so Claude Giroux at 50% retained and Jonathan Toews at 50% retained over to the Devils. They're going to be saying no. They don't want Claude Giroux, and so let's try Claude Giroux at 50% retained, a 2nd and 3rd round pick over to the Devils. They're going to be saying no to that, but you know what? We're going to flip Jonathan Toews for something else. Ideally, Toews and a 2nd rounder can go somewhere, and then we can bring in a defenseman. That would be ideal, but we need a team that wants both of these assets right here. It looks like that's going to be the San Jose Sharks. I don't even know what San Jose has, but if we can get a deal done, it'll be worth it. So I think this might be the deal. It's going to be a 2nd rounder, Toews at 50% retained, and a 3rd rounder over to the Philadelphia Flyers. I want Jamie Drysdale, and then we're going to flip Jamie Drysdale. So here's a 4th rounder in this deal as well. They're still saying no to this. Do I have to give up Ridley Gregg? I didn't plan on trading him away, but I think it just might be simpler to give him up. Actually, I'll give up Zether first because they're actually interested in him. Are they going to be saying yes to this deal? They're saying no. Yeah, so maybe take out Jonathan Toews and put in Ridley Gregg because this deal might be a bit easier to get done. So I'm going to offer this package over. We're pretty close in value. What's it going to take? I think it's going to take all of these guys right here. So a 2nd, 3rd, Zether, Ridley Gregg, and Jonathan Toews over to the Philadelphia Flyers for Jamie Drysdale. Now it's flip Drysdale. So this is what the trade's looking like. Jamie Drysdale, Claude Giroux over to the New Jersey Devils. Outlaw and Holtz are going to be brought to the team. 2 great players that are going to help us a lot here, and we didn't even have to retain any money. So the top line is going to be looking like John Outlaw and Berkeley Catton here. Berkeley Catton, of course, is going to be our #1 playmaker, but he's not an elite playmaker yet. But John Outlaw, we're going to see what your shooting ability is going to be looking like in year #1. You're taking all the shots. And you know what? I'll also sign a couple guys to 1-year deals. So we'll do Joe Pavelski. I'll do 8.5 for 1 season. And then is there another old player here that probably wouldn't be signing a multi-year deal? Adam Henrique, we could probably lock you down on a 1-year deal, and I'll trade you at 50% retained. So Adam Henrique will give you $6 million, and those are going to be the 2 free agent signings we do here. I'm going to let the CPU cook up the rest. Because real talk, 100 goals is going to have absolutely nothing to do with success. It's going to have to do with our top 6 looking absolutely phenomenal, and maybe having 3 really good defensemen. If we don't have a goaltender and allow 700 goals per game, I'm perfectly fine with that as long as we can score goals. Now I will say right now, we have to really figure out who's going to be the guy scoring 100 points for us, and once we know exactly who it's going to be, then we're going to be bringing in a coach that has a good line fit with them and is offense oriented, because there's no point bringing in an offensive coach when we don't have good line fits whatsoever and we don't even know who our sniper is going to be. But for this season, we're going to see Berkeley Catton, Outlaw, and Holtz on the top line, and then on the second line it's going to be Joe Pavelski, Adam Henrique, and Shore. Both of these guys are getting traded at the deadline. These guys are going to be the real ones scoring goals. But you know what? Joe Pavelski and Adam Henrique, they're definitely going to be taken away from these top guys this season. That's a fact. So we've made it to the draft, and I don't think it's much of a surprise that we're going to be one of the worst teams in the entire league here, 28th with a 26-32-9 record. However, that one rookie that we acquired through trade, he's actually looking not too bad so far. Now, he might not be our leading scorer, but you know what? When it comes to goal scoring, he's definitely leading the way here. He's got 38 goals and 18 assists for 56 points, but most importantly, he's taken 239 shots. If you're going to be scoring a lot of goals, you need to be taking a lot of shots, and out of all rookies so far, he's taken the most. Like, compared to all rookies, he's taken 40 more shots than anyone else. Meanwhile, the guy coming in second, well, this was the other guy I was contemplating trading for. But you know what? I think we made the right decision in John Outlaw. Like, looking at the entire league here, we have Austin Matthews leading the league in goals at the trade deadline. He's got 58 goals in 68 games here, but he's taken 331 shots. We got to get to this point. Once we find a player who's going to be taking more than 300 shots by the trade deadline, he's going to be our 100 goal player. But you know what? We got to make sure that this team tanks. So Henrique, you're about to get traded, and Joe Pavelski, you're about to get traded. But you know what? I almost want Joe Pavelski to finish this season with the Everett Elks because Joe Pavelski officially announced his non-official retirement. He's not playing next season, but he hasn't retired. But we lost an absolute legend in Joe Pavelski, and he will never be forgotten. So I'm hoping we can get a trade done like this. Joe Pavelski at 50% retained, Adam Henrique at 50% retained. We're going to get 2 first-round picks from the New Jersey Devils, and I'm willing to take on Palat's contract. I'm going to offer that over. They're saying yes. We probably could have gotten a few more assets, but you know what? We got those 2 first-round picks, and that was the most important thing. Also, supposedly, we're interested in Vince Dunn. I don't know why we'd be interested in Vince Dunn, considering we're one of the worst teams in the entire league, but hey, I guess it just doesn't matter. We got the 2 first-round picks we were looking for. So to finish the season, I'm praying that we're the worst team in the entire league. How are there a bunch of teams worse than us? Like, realistically, we don't have a bottom 9. We don't have any defensive pairings here. We have like 3 good players. John Outlaw's going to be finishing with 68 points, but more importantly, he had 47 goals here. He only took 303 shots. So basically, after the trade deadline, this man stopped shooting. But then again, look at the team around him. We have to bring in a lot of players that aren't going to shoot the puck. Too many of these guys are shooting. Plain and simple. I need you taking like 100 shots a season. Phil Kessel, you won't be brought back next season, so you're not going to be taking any shots away from John Outlaw. I want a bottom 9 that isn't going to take any shots. Like, I want them taking 30 shots per season. I think that's really the only way that we're going to be able to do this. But yeah, John Outlaw, 47 goals in your rookie campaign. I'll definitely take it. So although I don't really care too much about the Stanley Cup final, we're going to see the Anaheim Ducks win the Stanley Cup in the year 2025. So don't worry, Ducks fans. You're going to be turning your rebuild around next season, and you're going to be winning a Stanley Cup. Boy, is that unrealistic, but it doesn't matter. Where are we going? We got first. Oh my god, we got the first overall pick. We're jumping from 5 to 1. Detroit, you're going to be dropping to number 3. Sucks to suck, but the Everett Elks, we're jumping from 5 to 1. Please tell me there's a franchise potential sniper. If we can get a franchise potential player here, it's over. So I haven't looked at the draft class yet, but please tell me I'm going to see a franchise potential player here. Yeah, that really sucks. None of these guys are snipers either. But you know what? We're going to select one of them, and then eventually they'll get traded. We need snipers here. So I really don't think there's a wrong decision when it comes to our first overall selection. So I'm just going to be picking this guy right here. What's he going to be looking like? An 80 overall to begin his career? What are his stats looking like, though? Because for some reason, if he has like 95 shooting, then yeah, he can be the guy for us. But he is certainly not going to be the guy scoring. So yeah, you're just going to be a good trade asset. So we do have a couple more picks in this draft. And of course, you already know we have to trade for a first rounder for next season. I'm looking to acquire Boston's. I'm going to give up a 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th rounder, and I think this will be enough. They're going to be saying no, but another 7th rounder will make the difference. So all of this is sent over to the Boston Bruins. Are we going to get their first round pick for next season? Yes, we are. Okay, so we have to make this very clear. The goal for this video is not to win a Stanley Cup. It's to have one player score 100 goals in one season. So with that being said, every single player except for Holtz is going to be walking here, because I think the only one that's going to have like a significant amount of trade value is going to be Holtz, but everyone else is walking. I'm bringing in 50 overall players for the bottom 6. I don't care how bad we are when it comes to the bottom 6, and I don't care how bad our third pairing defense is, but if we can completely load up that top line and completely load up our top power play, I think we'll be able to score 100 goals with one player. But in order to do that, we also have to get rid of the coach here, because this guy right here, definitely not the answer for us. So everyone's going to be walking. We're going to be signing a bunch of really low overall players, maybe trying to boost that first line a little bit. But you know what? I think we're just going to rock with the young rookies we have right now, and then eventually we'll bring in some other playmakers. I mean, what could actually be ideal is just doing this, looking at players who picked up the most assists last season, and then based on their shots, that's what we're going to bring to the team. So a guy like Adam Fox would be ideal for us, because he only took 189 shots last season, so he's going to be passing the puck quite a bit. Ideally, I want to find somebody around the 150 mark. I mean, 170 is pretty good. Huberdeau was 150. Huberdeau we might bring to the team. Quinn Hughes, he could be another option for us. He had 66 assists, but only had 208 shots. Zach Hyman, he was passing the puck quite a bit. These are some interesting options. But Huberdeau, I actually like this idea. Even Braden Point, though, he had 63 assists and only took 166 shots. If he's playing on our top line, Nick Schmaltz only 163. Okay, right now it's between Braden Point and Huberdeau, but Huberdeau is definitely going to be a lot easier to trade for. So I'll give you Boston's first round pick in exchange for Huberdeau. They're going to say no to this one. But you know what? We also have Holtz still, so I think he actually might be able to be the difference here. So I'll throw Holtz in this deal, and I think this is going to be enough for Huberdeau. I actually know for a fact it's going to be enough, but I want some draft compensation back. So if I'm giving you Holtz in the first rounder, I want 2 third rounders alongside Huberdeau. They're going to say no to that deal. I'll take out this third rounder, and we should be able to get it done. So Jonathan Huberdeau, you're going to play on the top line, and you're going to be our primary playmaker. So we weren't able to get Josh Morrissey in that last trade, but you know what? This is what we're actually going to do. We're giving Victor Hedman $13 million. I'm trading him at 50% retained at the deadline, and we're going to get Josh Morrissey for him. The other player we're going to bring onto the team here is going to be Jacob Chickener, and I'm willing to give him $8 million for the next 5 years. So this is going to be our top pairing for next season. Our first line is going to be looking real good. I guess I can bring in a somewhat decent goaltender, because you know what, if we have a good goaltender, that's going to help the team. So we could do Adin Hill. I'll do 5.6 for the next 4 years. Really doesn't matter who's in between the pipes, but if he's making some saves, that's going to give the team momentum. And then when it comes to the rest of the team, Joe NHLs, we could bring you to the team. I'm not going to lie, that might be the move. So we're going to have 2 playmakers on the first line, Berkeley Catton and Jonathan Huberdeau alongside Outlaw. I want him taking all the shots here. We're going to see if having basically 0 bottom 6 whatsoever is going to impact the shots. I'm under the impression that these guys right here are going to play very few minutes this season, while the top 6, they're going to be playing a ton. Like right now, the ice time allocation is set to just roll 3 lines. So Outlaw, you're going to be on the ice a lot. When it comes to the first defensive pairing, it's going to be Victor Hedman and Chychrun. They might not have the greatest passing attributes in the world. I mean, Victor Hedman's a 91, that's going to be great, but Chychrun's only an 88. I need that to be at least a 90 if we're going to be recording 100 goals in one season. And when it comes to the goaltending, Adin Hill, you're kind of on your own here. So we'll simulate up to the trade deadline. Ideally, we just score 100 goals and this video is over. Or number 2, we get the first overall pick once again, and we get a franchise potential player. Are either of those things going to be happening? Absolutely not, but a man can dream. Okay, so stick on the ice was not cooking in the slightest, because there's one thing that I didn't factor in. If our bottom 6 is incredibly bad, that means we're in the defensive zone all the time, meaning we're spending a lot less time at the offensive end. So yeah, the goal scoring total is probably not going to be good this season. I'm just basing that off the first few games of the season where we're only scoring 2 goals, 3 goals. But hey, if the first line's scoring all those goals, then I'm going to be happy. But I just doubt that's the case. Like, we literally lost a game 8-0 and then 2-0 the very next game. So yeah, things are not looking good. Yeah, so clearly we're not on pace for 100 goals this season, because Victor Hedman has 52 points and he's leading the team. Okay, yeah, I did not cook with this team right here. Outlaw, you have 25 goals, but you have taken 235 shots. That is an improvement from last season. But yeah, that shooting percentage definitely has dropped a lot. I'm happy to see that some of these guys aren't taking nearly as many shots. Huberdeau was definitely a great pickup. He only has 89 shots this season so far, so he's definitely going to be great alongside Outlaw. But where does 235 shots put him in the entire league here? Definitely not near the top. We got to be a lot better than this. We got to be pushing 300 at the trade deadline, as I said earlier. Like, Nathan McKinney's got 47 goals here, Kucherov 47 goals. Both of them are past 250. We have to continue to figure out which superstar is going to be leading this team. And honestly, I think one of them has to be Adam Fox. So let's find a way to do that trade. So instead of picking up Adam Fox, we're going with the second best option. It's going to be Josh Morrissey. We're going to lock him down for the next 3 years here. They're going to say no to that deal, but of course, we have picks we can work with. I'll give you a 3rd rounder for 2027 and a 4th rounder for 2026, and I think that might be enough to get this done. So Josh Morrissey's brought to the team, and I think he actually might fit what we're trying to do a bit better. And then I think that's going to be really the only move we do here. Chychrun, I'm going to hold on to, because we need somebody to play alongside Morrissey on that top line. So yeah, let's see how this team looks now. We're not going to be good, there's no question about that, but now that we've learned from our mistakes, we have to bring in like 78 overalls for the bottom 6. We can't be rocking those 50 overalls. Honestly, I don't even know what I was cooking up there. Like, I've watched the Everett Elks when they have 0 overall teams. If you have a really bad bottom 6, that's going to hurt you. So I don't know what happened with Outlaw this season. He had only 29 goals, but he took almost 300 shots, so that is an improvement from last season. But look at that shooting percentage. Why was it so low this season? I am relying on you to be a 100 goal scorer, and these are the numbers you're putting up. Absolutely disappointing. Like, you got to be a lot better than this. But you know what? We don't have to worry about that, because we're going to get the first overall pick. We won 6 games this season. So yeah, we are clearly not focused on winning. The New Jersey Devils, they won the Stanley Cup, so that pick's going to have absolutely no value. But you know what? That's okay. We're going to flip that pick. The only thing that matters here is getting the first overall pick, and by rights, we should be able to, but instead, we're going to drop to 3. I guarantee you there's a franchise potential sniper in this upcoming draft. So if I go and look at the draft class and I see a franchise potential sniper, I'm going to lose my mind. A franchise potential power forward. Now, I think we have to trade for the number 1 pick, because this guy's going to have great shooting stats. What did he do in Russia? 28 goals in 56 games. I think we got to trade for him. Franchise potential is going to keep on getting better. That's the move. And honestly, it probably shouldn't be that difficult to trade. We have the 3rd overall pick and we have the 33rd overall. So I'm going to package both of these up, send it over to the Red Wings, and ideally they say yes. I think we're actually pretty close. I'll give you a 2nd rounder for next season, and then you're going to give me the 1st overall. So there we go. We got the deal done. We're getting a franchise potential power forward. So this is the man that we're going to be bringing to the team here. He's starting off as an 84 overall. What are his shooting stats like? That's all I care about. 93s across the board. I think he's the guy that's going to lead us to greatness. And then with the rest of the picks we have here, we're going to somehow trade for a 1st rounder for next season. Now, Winnipeg, would you be interested in these scraps for your 1st round pick for next season? I guess you would be. So the only thing we have to do during the re-sign phase is sign this rookie right here. He's going to be brought to the team, and then we're going to go into free agency, sign a couple 79 overalls that can play some bottom 6 minutes for us, and ideally just keep the puck out of our own zone. So this is what we're doing from here on out. I'm looking strictly at puck skills. This guy right here, a 90 rating in passing. You're coming to the team, especially since you don't shoot the puck that much. So I'm just going to scroll through here and find players that are going to be really good at passing. Tyson Barrie, I know you could be great for our team. Here's 1.9 for next season. This 78 overall in Carlson, he can definitely join the team here. I'll give you $1 million for the next 2 years. Petin or P10, you can also join the team here. Here's 1.4 for next season. Now I think you understand what I'm doing here. If you can pass the puck and you're good at passing the puck, you're going to be joining our team. I'm not even necessarily concerned about your defensive rating. I just want to make sure that you can pass the puck, because no matter who's on the ice with that elite Russian player we just drafted, they got to be able to move the puck towards him, and he's got to be able to snipe us some goals. Like, I'm not going to lie, this defenseman could be elite for us. He's a 66 overall, but he has an 88 passing. You can pass the puck, you can play for this team. So Berkeley Catton, of course, I got to make sure that you stay on this team because you've been an elite playmaker for us. We're looking at 5 years, around $9 million. Actually, it's probably going to be less than that. We'll do 8.7 for the next 5. You're a really good playmaker for us, and when it comes to Outlaw, I'll give you exactly what you want, but actually not quite. I'll do 7.5 for the next 6 seasons. I'm not really too sure where you sit on this team now that we got that other power forward, because we're going to focus on him from here on out. So Outlaw, you know, I think you're an amazing player, and I thought you were going to be the guy to score 100 goals here, but that's just not the case. I'm trading you away over to the San Jose Sharks. We're picking up Gavin McKenna because he's an elite playmaker that's not going to shoot the puck too much. I'm going to send this package over. They're saying no. Honestly, it's a bit ridiculous that they're saying no to that, but here's the 7th round pick as well. Like, I'm giving you Outlaw, an amazing player, 87 overall at 20 years old. You already know he's going to turn into an elite player. With Gavin McKenna, it's a bit of a risk. I mean, it really isn't that much of a risk, but we got another playmaker on this team. That's what we were looking for. So we basically have one elite shooter, one guy that's going to take all the shots here, and that's going to be that franchise potential player whose name I haven't learned yet. Probably wouldn't hurt if I threw it into Google Translate. So Berkeley Catton, Jonathan Huberdeau, and Kavasha, they're going to be the top line. I think that's how you say the name. I don't know. I threw it into Google Translate. Close enough. Eventually, this guy's going to turn into a superstar. He has medium franchise potential. He's going to be a 90 overall by the beginning of next season, but the only thing that matters, he's got a 93 attribute in all of his shooting categories. He's going to be scoring a lot of goals, and he's going to be shooting the puck a ton. On top of that, though, we have 2 great defensemen that are going to be leading the charge here that pass the puck a lot. Basically, every defenseman that's on this team knows how to pass the puck. Shattenkirk, an 85 passing rating. Hansel, an 89 passing rating. Tyson Barrie, a 91. When it comes to Will Butcher, he's got an 85. Do I do something like this, moving Tyson Barrie up to that top pairing? He'll pass the puck a bit more. We're going to try that. So it's time for us to go simulate up to the trade deadline, see how the team's looking. Are we going to be able to be close to 100 goals this season? Probably not. I think we got to wait till this guy's at least a 95 overall. So I can tell you right now, Kavasha is definitely not on pace for 100 goals, but there is one surprising thing. This team is not complete dog crap. 21st in the entire league with a 33, 26, and 2 record. Way better than I thought, but our offense is close to being one of the best in the entire league. Okay, that's not true. It's like top 10. It might not even be top 10. We could be in the middle of the pack here. But you know what? We're producing offensively. And Jonathan Huberdeau, he's having a great year, 75 points. Most of those are assists. When it comes to the goal scoring, Kavasha, I'm not going to lie, this is better than I thought it was, because I checked about 10 games into the season, and this man had 2 goals. So he has 39 goals in 61 games so far. He's up to a 90 overall already. Next season's going to be a big year for him. And Jonathan Huberdeau, if I'm being completely honest, you might get traded away next season. You know who else might get traded away? Berkeley Catton. This man's starting to shoot a bit too much. He does have a superstar X factor and is a 90 overall though, so maybe I won't do that. But Jonathan Huberdeau, I'm probably going to trade you away because you're getting up there in age. You're going to start declining. So who's going to be the new playmaker that we pick up here? Haven't quite decided yet. Okay, so I really want to get Brayden Point, but I don't think we have the assets right now. But he is going to be coming to the team in the future. How old is he? He's not going to be too old at this time. 30 years old. He's going to be a lead on the first line because some reason in the simulation, this man does not shoot the puck. He does not shoot the puck whatsoever. He's an incredible playmaker. So if we pair him with an elite sniper, we're going to be set. Hey, so let's stick on the ice in the editing process here. I want you to remember what assets I had in this trade for Brayden Point. Because wait until you see what we actually have to offer over for him. So the Everett Elks are just missing out in the postseason here, 18th in the entire league with a 43, 34, and 5 record. But of course, we don't care about the record. We don't care about Berkeley Catton having 99 points here. We care about the goal scoring. And Kavasha, 54 goals in your rookie season here, picking up 304 shots. That's what we're looking for. Next season, you're going to be better. And once Brayden Point's on this team, we're going to see a lot of success. The other guy that I'm really hoping we can somehow acquire here, that's going to be Cale Makar. I don't know how it's going to be possible, but we're going to do it. Because looking at assist leaders, Cale Makar Makar, Braden Point, Quinn Hughes. If we could somehow get all three of you guys on our team, it would only be a matter of time before someone's recording 100 goals. So we gotta head straight to the draft lottery here. Shout out to the Edmonton Oilers, they're Stanley Cup champions. We own Winnipeg's pick, and I don't recall how good Winnipeg was this season. I think they were a bit weak. Okay, never mind, they must have made the playoffs. We have the 16th overall pick. We need a franchise potential player to be getting drafted here, because then we can make some crazy moves. If there's a franchise potential player up for grabs and we can somehow trade up to the number 1 overall pick, we'll be able to acquire him. We'll be able to pick up somebody else for this team. We are just praying that there's a franchise potential player and then I can trade for the first overall pick. Are we going to be lucky? Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case here. But you know what? At least we can find out if Cale Makar signed an extension, because if he has low trade value, then he didn't re-sign. So unfortunately, it looks like Cale Makar is going to be sticking with the Colorado Avalanche. That's definitely going to hurt this team, because yeah, if we could somehow pull off a trade like this, that would have been incredible. So this is the first trade. I'm looking at the 16th overall, the 148th overall, and the 181st overall over to the Vancouver Canucks for 2 first-round picks. They're going to say no to that, but what if I give you a third rounder as well? I need these 2 first-round picks from the Vancouver Canucks. They're incredibly crucial for what we're trying to do here. The next trade I'm looking at is Edmonton's first-round pick for next season, so I'm giving up the 23rd overall and a future 4th-round pick, and then to finish it all off, a future first-round pick is going to be acquired from the Dallas Stars. They're going to say no to this, but a 7th rounder will be the difference. If I am somehow able to pull off this miracle trade and bring Cale Makar to the team, then I might go down as the greatest GM of all time. So I'm going to try to bring back as many players as humanly possible. Tyson Barrie, you're going to rejoin the team. Nemestikov, you're going to rejoin the team. Whatever you're asking for, I'm going to give to you. P10, here's 2.3 for the next 3. Why not? This 79 overall, do you want a deal? Here you go, you can have one. I'm going to sign as many players as possible that have great playmaking abilities. Alright, so Stick on the Ice is back here during the editing process. I'm going to try to make this as straightforward as possible. I tried to make a ton of massive trades here during the offseason. None of that happened. It got really messy. I was trading first round picks for prospects for more picks, then those picks for other prospects. It got really messy. Let's just say I make like 17 trades in the offseason, maybe not quite 17, but yeah, it gets very, very messy here and it is incredibly hard to follow. So I'm going to make it as simple as possible. The first thing we're going to try to do here is trade for Cale Makar. No matter what I offer, I can't get Cale Makar on this team. I could offer them 5 first round picks and our most valuable prospect, and we still couldn't get Cale Makar. The next thing I'm going to attempt to do is pick a Braden Point, but unfortunately all the assets we have right now don't really fit Tampa's trade block, so I'm going to trade a first rounder and a second over to get a prospect from the St. Louis Blues. I'm going to proceed to offer Tampa a very fair package for Braden Point. They're going to say no to it, so we have to head back over to the St. Louis Blues to get another prospect. A first, second, and 4th rounder is not going to be enough in order to get Dalton, but eventually we are going to be acquiring Dalton here. I actually don't even remember what I traded here. A first, second, 3rd, and 4th rounder. Is that going to be enough? Okay, we got Dalton. That's great, but not really. So at this point, I was just getting incredibly desperate, and I was like, you know what, Berkeley Catton, I'm willing to trade you away, and I'll even trade those 2 prospects that we got. They're going to say no to the 1 prospect, but clearly, if I include the other one in Dalton, this is going to be enough to get Braden Point, so I'm going to send that package over. They're saying no, so we got to keep on throwing players in. Ackers, you're going to be the next guy we throw into this deal. They're still saying no to that, so I'm getting incredibly desperate. I don't really want to give up Josh Morrissey. I'll include our first round pick for next season. That's a lot of trade value. Still saying no to that. So I probably won't include it in the video, but I just spent the last probably 20-25 minutes trying to pick up either Cale Makar or Braden Point. And then I realized that Quinn Hughes is available in free agency. We have as much money as you could possibly look for. So yeah, I'm going to give you $20 million per year. Quinn Hughes, you are going to be joining the Everett Elks here. You are the playmaker we've been desperately missing. What is the most I can actually give you? $19.3 million? There you go. Quinn Hughes, welcome to the team. So it might not be Cale Makar, but Quinn Hughes definitely works. So now that we know Quinn Hughes is playing for this team, that makes everything a lot easier. Morrissey and Dalton, I'm sending you over to the Islanders. We're getting Noah Dobson. Simple as that. Now, since I'm incredibly stubborn, I haven't given up with Braden Point yet. So a first rounder, a prospect we acquired, Alex Wenberg, and another first round pick is going to be sent over to the Ottawa Senators. We're getting Jake Sanderson. Now, Jake Sanderson, I'm going to try to flip you over to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So unfortunately, Jake Sanderson, he doesn't have enough trade value. So Sanderson, along with Ackers and a first round pick, is going to be sent to Detroit. We're getting Mo Seider. Now, is Mo Seider going to be the answer? Absolutely not. Now, one of the issues we're running into at this point is we can't afford to trade all these players because Tampa can't afford all these contracts. So now we're going to pick up Caden Lidstrom for a ton of assets. I can't even recall what I just sent over. So this is the package that we're going to send over. It's going to be Mo Seider. It's going to be Berkeley Catton, Caden Lidstrom, a 5th rounder and a 2nd rounder. This is the most we can offer for Braden Point. They still said no to this. They said no to that package right there. So yeah, we have to give up with Braden Point. And who's going to be the answer for us? Tim Stützle. Yeah, we can't get Braden Point, so we have to live with Tim Stützle. Not the end of the world. He can be a good enough playmaker, but you're really telling me the Tampa Bay Lightning aren't going to accept that deal? That's absolutely ridiculous. Eventually, we get Tim Stützle here. I can't even recall what we got for him, but yeah, Mo Seider gets traded away. It might be 1-for-1. I don't even recall. Yeah, it's 1-for-1 here. And after everything's all said and done, this is going to be the final trade. Caden Lindstrom and Namestnikov over to the Islanders. You're going to give me Matt Barzal. They're going to say no to that. I'll throw a 7th rounder in this deal. Oh, actually, I have a 6th rounder. So there we go. We have no first round picks for the next 3 years. We have a lot of great playmakers on this team. I think this could be the season we do it. So we got all playmakers alongside Kavasha here. Huberdeau's up to an 89 overall, and he's got a superstar X factor now. Tim Stützle's here. He's going to be a great playmaker. Gavin McKenna's going to keep on getting better. He's going to be a playmaker. Berkeley Cam, the only concern I have with you is you might be taking too many shots here. Kavasha, you're clearly the number 1 guy here, a 91 overall. You have great shooting splits here. I need you to perform, and I don't want to see you picking up any assists this season. I want you scoring only goals. With a defensive pairing like this with Noah Dobson and Quinn Hughes, I think we should have a lot of success scoring goals. So we'll simulate up to the trade deadline and then we'll make moves accordingly, but ideally we're over a goal per game at that point. Now the Everett Elks are a pretty solid team. We're currently sitting in the postseason. We're actually 8th in the entire league with a 35-21-9 record. The offense isn't good enough though. Like, we're not even close to the top of the league. So if we're not close to the top of the league, obviously Kavasha, he's not going to be close to 100 goals here. What's he currently at right now? 50 goals in 65 games isn't actually the end of the world, and he's shooting the puck a lot. That's the most important thing. Tim Stützle, I think we're going to trade you away. You're taking way too many shots. Quinn Hughes, you're taking a lot as well, but you know what? You're a good defenseman for us. We're going to keep you around. Tyson Barrie, you're shooting the puck a bit too much, so I actually might let you walk. Outside of Tim Stützle and Tyson Barrie, I don't really want to get rid of anyone else because, I mean, like, these guys are valuable assets to the team. Like, Quinn Hughes, we can't trade away. Noah Dobson, we can't trade him away. Huberdeau, McKenna, Berkeley Catton, we can't trade them away. But you know what? 50 goals here at the 65 game mark is actually a pretty good sign, especially since Kavasha is going to continue to get better. He's up to a 95 overall. Yeah, he's going to be able to do this in the next couple seasons. Even if he can't get to 100 goals, we got to at least have one season where he breaks the goal record, or at least has a goal per game. So we're going to simulate the rest of the season here. We'll simulate the postseason, but I think the plan is to go into free agency, sign somebody to a 1-year deal, retain half of their salary, and trade them for Braden Point. I need Braden Point on this team. I don't think we complete this challenge without him. So when the season came to an end, somehow we're 5th in the entire league. I can't even comprehend how that happened. There's no reason this team should be 5th in the entire league. Kavasha obviously didn't hit 100 goals because you didn't even have 100 points here. Where are you going to be finishing with? 65 goals in 82 games isn't too bad. That's probably going to lead the entire league here. You're heading in the right direction. You're up to a 95 overall. We're probably going to be trading whoever took the most shots on this team. Kavasha, you even led the league in goals here. The team's looking good. I also think you took the most shots in the entire league, and that's exactly what we need. We need players like you taking shots. Also, when it comes to assists here, I just want to see players who pass the puck a lot but didn't take a lot of shots. Mitch Marner, 212, that's not too bad here. Cale Makar, 195, but one guy stands alone, Logan Cooley. This man did not take shots this season, only 160. We're acquiring him. He's going to be a good player for us. He's going to be a great playmaker. Another guy who's constantly been picking up big assist numbers, Zach Hyman. So maybe we do that. But I still say that one guy we have to somehow pick up here is Braden Point. 94 overall. He had 61 helpers this season, only 202 shots. That's amazing value like there. Even Dylan Strome, though, only 163 shots taken this season. He's an 89 overall. He could be a good playmaker as well. Also, Everett did make the postseason, but they would fall in the second round to the Edmonton Oilers in a 7-game series. But in one of those games, we did score 11 goals. We scored 11 goals in one game, and Kavasha, you're picking up 10 goals, 4 assists for 14 points. The goal scoring numbers are still looking good, but Tim Stützle, you're taking too many shots. I gotta trade you away. Okay, so I completely forgot that Noah Dobson needs an extension here. Luckily, we have a ton of money to work with. Noah Dobson, I think I'm gonna give you like 10.5 million. That will keep you on the team. Not too much consideration has to go into this deal though. We gotta make sure that Noah Dobson's coming back. So is 10.5 gonna be enough? He's gonna say no to that. I'll give you exactly what you want. I don't want to mess around here. You want 11.1 million? There you go. 11.1 million for the next 7. When it comes to the rest of these players, I'm just going to let them walk, and then I'm going to sign new players for the bottom 6. So we all saw what Logan Cooley did last season. That man was picking up assists, and he wasn't taking shots, so we have to bring him to the team here. No question about it. Tim Stützle straight up for Logan Cooley. We're going 1-for-1 here. And then the other guy that we have to trade, we got to trade Jonathan Huberdeau just to free up his contract. That's the only reason we're going to trade him. All right, so obviously we got to keep Kavash off on this team, and we actually really don't have that much money to bring him back, but we're going to do 11.7 for the next 5 years. Yeah, this team's actually going to run into some financial trouble in the next couple of years. Okay, so I want to try to pull off this deal right here. Jonathan Huberdeau over to the Calgary Flames, and now will allow us to pick up Joe Iginla. Joe Iginla is going to be a very valuable piece because we're going to end up trading him in the future. So hopefully all these draft picks along with Huberdeau is going to be enough. They're saying no. I have to trade second rounders for 2031. Like, we're so incredibly desperate. It's actually ridiculous right now. You know what? Screw second round picks. I'm trading a first round pick. So hopefully Jonathan Huberdeau and a first round pick is going to be enough. I'm going to send this over. They're still saying no. Am I surprised? Absolutely not, because I'm not offering anything they actually want here. So maybe a second round could be the difference. Yes, it will. Now I'm going to go spend all that money we just freed up in free agency, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Mo Sider a 1-year deal at $13.5 million, and I'm going to retain half of it. So we're guaranteed to get Mo Sider on the team here. I'm going to retain half of his contract and trade him over in order to get Zach Benson. Now I feel like this deal is pretty fair. Mo Sider at 50% retained and Joe Iginla over to the Buffalo Sabres, and we get Zach Benson for the next 5 years. They're going to say no to that. If I have to trade first round picks for 5 years down the line, I will do it. I don't care what it takes anymore. At this point, I just want somebody to score 100 goals here. So yeah, here's a second round pick for 2031. Here's a third round pick for 2030. And then we're going all the way to 2032. Here's another second rounder. I feel like this all should be enough for Zach Benson. We brought him to the team here. So the top 6 is set here. We have a lot of guys that are going to be passing the puck to Kvasha. And now all we have to do is fill out the bottom 6. And our 2 defensive pairings, of course. So I think this year could potentially be the year that we pick up 82 goals here. Logan Cooley, Gavin McKenna, Zach Benson, Berkeley Catton, Matt Barzal, and then Kvasha. Kvasha's up to a 96 overall. Bro's looking like an absolute beast. And now that we've taken away all the players that take shots on this team, I think he's going to be having like 400 shots this season, maybe even 500. He's going to take a ton. Defensively, it's going to be Quinn Hughes and Noah Dobson. We already know what this pairing is going to look like. The goaltending, it's going to be Aiden Hill. Eventually, I do think this team's going to run into a bit of cap trouble because we're paying basically every player here $10 million, and that's not really ideal. But you know what, Kvasha, I have a lot of faith in you, and I'm expecting you to do big things this season. We've got rid of all the weak links, all the guys that want to take shots on this team. You should be the only player shooting the puck this season. So we might have actually done it here. We're at the trade deadline. Kvasha, you actually might do it. 4.16 goals per game, the best in the entire league. I don't care if we're 11th, we're scoring goals right now. And Kvasha, safe to say he's doing pretty good. 108 points here at the trade deadline. How many goals do you have? 70 goals in 63 games. I think you're going to be short. You're going to be just short of a 100 goal season. The power play, you've been absolutely phenomenal, like 26 goals here, 44 power play points. I may or may not have you playing on all power play lines. You might be playing on the number 1 power play and the number 2, and then the 4-on-3 power play, you might be on the number 1 line, and you might be on the number 2. Yeah, this guy might be on the ice for about 45 minutes per game. How many minutes is he actually playing per night right now? Okay, 25 isn't actually crazy. Once you get into the playoffs, you're probably going to be playing that anyway, so you're just going to play playoff minutes during the regular season. 70 goals in 63 games, we're getting there. So we're just going to simulate the rest of this season here, and if he goes crazy to finish out the year, he actually might have 100 goals. So I don't care about our record. Kvasha, you had 140 points here. How many goals did you score? Did you pick up 100? 94. You broke the goal record, but you're only finishing with 94 goals, 6 goals shy of 100. You were taking all the shots. I love to see numbers like this. 429. Logan Cooley, you were shooting the puck a bit too much here. Gavin McKenna, you were great. Berkeley Catton, you were great. Matt Barzal, you were great. Quinn Hughes, you're shooting the puck too much. I think I might trade Quinn Hughes, and we might try to bring Cale Makar onto the team because I think Cale Makar shoots less. Cale Makar definitely shoots less, but so does Adam Fox. And I think out of all the guys here, Adam Fox will take the least amount of shots. So I think it's going to be Quinn Hughes straight up for Adam Fox, and then Noah Dobson will trade you for somebody else. Who could we potentially trade though that's going to play on the left side here? We need somebody that's not going to shoot the puck whatsoever, not willing to shoot the puck whatsoever. Lane Hutson, what's your overall? You're an 85. That might be a bit low, but your passing numbers are incredible. You're not going to shoot the puck here. So yeah, Lane Hutson and Adam Fox, that's going to be the defensive pairing for next season. And I think that might be enough for us to break the record. I don't even know why I said break the record. Break 100 goals. Because yeah, we already broke the record. 92 goals was the record set by Wayne Gretzky, and we already surpassed that. We're going for 100 goals. Kvasha might have to play on all the power play lines. I don't care if you consider that cheating. Did you really think this man was going to crack 100 goals only playing 18 minutes per game? Obviously that's not going to happen. So we won't talk about what happened in the postseason because we got absolutely smoked by the Anaheim Ducks. But you know what? The Everett Elks are that close. Kvasha, he is that close to breaking 100. Next season we're going to do it. Adam Fox, welcome to the team. Lane Hutson, welcome to the team. We're making big changes. And all right, so this is the trade we're going to do. It's going to be Quinn Hughes over to the New York Rangers. We're getting Adam Fox. We got to go 1-for-1 here. I really have to include some picks in this deal. You're telling me you're not willing to accept this unless I give you a 3rd round pick. I have to give you more than a third round. Yeah, this is stupid. So here's a third, fourth, and fifth rounder alongside Quinn Hughes for Adam Fox. The fact that this is a bit low is actually beyond ridiculous. The trading in this game has to be fixed for NHL 25 because this right here is just beyond stupid. They're even saying no after I include a lucrative 7th round pick. I'll give you a 6th rounder as well. Is this enough? Like, this is actually just plain stupid here. The fact that they're not willing to say yes to a deal like this is beyond ridiculous. I have to actually go out and trade these picks for better picks. So hopefully a 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round pick is enough in order to get the 2nd round from the Ottawa Senators. Now let's go back to the Rangers. Because ideally, all of this alongside Quinn Hughes should be enough for Adam Fox. Like, the fact that they're not willing to accept a deal like this is honestly beyond ridiculous. It's Quinn Hughes for Adam Fox. It's a pretty fair deal. So they're still saying no to that. So here's a 4th and 5th rounder. Adam Fox, welcome to the team. Now let's go get Lane Hutson. So it's going to be Noah Dobson over to the Montreal Canadiens. Lane Hutson, a 1st and 2nd rounder, is going to be acquired here. Honestly, this is a great deal for us. They're saying they're getting an absolute steal here and that we screwed up. But you know what? We got exactly what we needed. So the 100 goal season's about to happen. Logan Cooley, Gavin McKenna, Berkeley Catton, Matt Barzal, Zach Benson, 5 great playmakers, and then we got Kvasha here, a 96 overall. This man knows how to score goals. This guy shoots the puck a lot, and when it comes to the defense, that's changed a little bit here. Lane Hutson's going to be helping out. Adam Fox is going to be helping out. We got 2 great guys that can move the puck here. We're here to score 100 goals. Now all I have to do is go through the power play lines and make sure Kvasha is always on the ice no matter what. So I cannot express how concerned I am right now. The Everett Elks, a 31-6-4 record. They're fantastic. Kvasha, he's been fantastic as well. 69 points so far. We're 41 games into the season. Halfway through, he has 49 goals. If he keeps up this pace, he's going to finish with 98 goals, and he's going to be just too shy of breaking 100. This is the year he actually has a possibility of doing it. He's shooting the puck a lot, which we love to see. He has an amazing shooting percentage. Kvasha, just keep up this pace, and you're going to be able to break 100 goals. So we'll check in again at the trade deadline, but based on this pace right here, things are looking really good for you. So even with Kvasha's amazing scoring right now, yeah, we're 1st in the entire league, but the Devils actually have a better record here. They have 48 wins, and they've played 2 less games, so more likely they're going to be passing us. We have a great offense here, but you know what? The real question is, how good is Kvasha? He has 99 points here, but how many goals? 73 goals. 73 goals in 65 games? I think we might be short. I think if he keeps up this pace, he's going to be finishing with around 94 goals, 95 goals. This guy's got to pick it up in the final games of the season. His shooting percentage has dropped a little bit, but he's still taking a lot of shots here. Kvasha, I need you to step it up in the final 17 games. In the final 17 games, you got to score 27 goals. It's going to be pretty tough. But hey, you've been over a point a game up until this point. You're on pace for 95. So you know what? Pick up 3 hat tricks to finish out the season, and I think you'll be able to do it. Because Kvasha's definitely been on a bit of a cold streak since we last looked at him. Like, he was looking phenomenal halfway through the season, but since then he has definitely taken a slight step back. But you know what? We got 17 games left in the year. It's time for him to step it up. And based on what he did last season after the trade deadline, I think there's a pretty good chance he does it. So we'll probably simulate up until this game right before Toronto, and then we'll see how he's looking. So we're just before that Toronto game, and this one's going to come right down to the end of the season. 88 goals in 74 games here. He's looking absolutely fantastic. He's on pace for almost 500 shots this season. Kvasha might do it. He might be the first 100 goal scorer in NHL history. Because ideally I want to jump into Simcast for that final game. So I'm going to simulate up to April 1st and we'll see how he's looking. Alright, so I simulated up until this point, and it's time for us to close the season out here. We have 5 games left, and Kvasha, he is incredibly close. Only 8 goals away. It all comes down to this. We're going to simulate these last couple games in Simcast, and we're going to see if he's going to be able to do it. Ideally, in one of these final games, you pick up a hat trick, and we're going to be in a good position. You're not scoring in the first period. Can you pick up a goal in the second here? Okay, why are the playmakers scoring goals? That should not be happening, but Kvasha, a big third period goal. You're at least picking up 1 here, so that's not the end of the world, but still, we're in a bad position. 7 goals in the next 4 games, that's not going to be easy. Now, this is probably the biggest game of this season. We're playing the Ottawa Senators. They're one of the worst teams in the entire league. Kvasha's picking up a goal in the first period, none in the second. I need 2 goals in the third period from him. I need him to have a big game. That's not going to be happening. 6 goals in the next 3. It is possible, but it's going to be pretty risky. Like, I'm heavily relying on this man picking up a hat trick in one of these final 3 games. If he picks up a hat trick, I think we're going to be all right. He's going to be scoring a goal in the first period here. Can he score a goal in the second? Unfortunately not. Pick up a third period goal. Do something for me. He's picking up a goal in the third period. Our hopes are still alive. So we're entering the final 2 games of the season, and he's 4 goals away. Kavasha, pick up a hat trick or something. I just need a big time performance from you. We got the Winnipeg Jets up next, as I just mentioned. Can you score some big time goals here? You're not scoring in the first period. Can you score in the second here? Things are not looking good for us. Kavasha, are you going to show up in the third period? You're picking up 2 goals. A shorthanded goal and a 5-on-5. We're entering the final game of the season. 2 goals away. Can you do it? You might be able to do the impossible here. I am so scared. So it all comes down to one game for Kavasha's career. If he scores 2 more goals here, he goes down as the greatest goal scorer of all time, the only player to ever score 100 goals in one season. I need you to show up here. 2 goals in the first period, and we call this a video. Of course, you're not going to show up when it matters the most, but he did pick up a couple goals here. He did it. 100 goals for Kavasha, and he's going to pick up a hat trick in this game, isn't he? Of course he did. Why did you have to make this so difficult? You are telling me you're going to pick up a hat trick against the Anaheim Ducks, but you're not going to do it against the 29-win Ottawa Senators. You had to make this video 10 times more difficult than it had to be, but he finally did it. Now, I'm actually a bit mad at Kavasha. Like, he was putting me through stress in those final 5 games. We played the Ottawa Senators. They sucked this entire year. Hold on, I'm going to look at Ottawa first. I want to know where they finished in the entire league. They were one of the worst teams here. Like, they were abysmal. Ottawa, were you the worst team? The second worst team in the entire league. They finished with a 30-45-6 record. What was their defense? Hold on, let's look at their defense here. Allowing over 3.5 goals per game. We couldn't beat this team for some reason. We couldn't score against them. I mean, we did pick up a couple goals, but Kavasha, you're telling me you couldn't pick up a hat trick against them, but you had to wait till the final game of the season to score a hat trick. I'm a bit rattled, but you know what? Kavasha, the greatest goal scorer of all time. You picked up 101 goals this season. You're the only player to ever score 100 goals. You're also the only player to ever score 94 goals in a season. You're almost on pace for a goal per game right now for your entire career. Kavasha, you're going to go down as the greatest goal scorer of all time. And all it took was you playing on the first line with playmakers along your side, and then a second line comprised of all playmakers as well. You playing on the first power play line, second power play line, third power play line, first penalty kill, second penalty kill, and third penalty kill. When it came to special teams, this man did not step off the ice. Like, I'm very curious to how many minutes he played this season. The one thing that was the main difference between this season and last season, he took 50 more shots. That's the main difference here. If he didn't take these extra 50 shots, we're not breaking the goal record. But you know what? He stepped up when it mattered most. He also passed the puck less, which is ideal for this team. But yeah, how many minutes did you play this season? You were playing 2 more minutes per game. And honestly, I'm actually pretty surprised that you only played 2 more minutes per game, considering I basically had you on every single line. Like, last season, I had him on the top 2 power plays and the top 2 penalty kills, but for this season I said nah, he's got to be on all 3 power plays, all 3 penalty kills. If there was some sort of special team, Kavasha was on it this season, and that's going to be the difference for us. He's going to be recording 101 goals. The impossible was just complete.